This time on episode 187 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to take down Iron Fist. Shadowhawk takes flight. We're going to talk about the weekly Marvel news, which is especially touching this week, and we'll have some listener feedback.
I'm Chris from All Things Good and Nerdy, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to right now. The opinions expressed are those of the individual hosts. Make sure you check out all the other great podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. This show is recorded on Thursday, July 6, 2017, from the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. studios and broadcast worldwide via www.geeks.live. Happy National Fried Chicken Day, ladies!
That always reminds me of Leroy Jenkins. Do y'all remember Leroy Jenkins?
Yeah. I wish this was yesterday because yesterday was National Bikini Day. But it's not. It's National Fried Chicken Day. So we'll just run with it and go. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Daredevil Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist on Netflix, Legion on FX, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Marvel Comic Universe in general.
Because of M&Ms.
If you'd like to talk to us about M&Ms, you can visit our website, legendsofshield.com.
If you'd like to leave us a voicemail on your favorite M&M, peanut M&Ms, you can call us at 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871.
If you'd like to leave Haley or me, but not SP, a message regarding anything M&M, the food, probably not, the rapper, you can find us on Facebook at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Podcast.
If you'd like to correct Star Pie on what the best M&M is, crispy, you could hit us up on Twitter at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
If you'd like to show us bags and bags and bags of peanut M&Ms, you can catch us on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/GonnaGeek.
And remember, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a proud member of the GonnaGeek.com network.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, ladies. We're going to move right on into Iron Fist. The Shadowhawk takes flight. Haley, we had a great director for this episode, right?
Yeah, this episode was directed by John Dahl, who has 46 directing credits going back to 1989, including 1 episode of Battlestar Galactica, 1 episode of Breaking Bad, 4 of True Blood, 2 of Caprica, 1 of Falling Skies, 1 of Arrow, 4 of The Vampire Diaries, 1 Person of Interest, 16 episodes of Dexter, 2 episodes of The Americans, 10 of Californication, 2 of Outlander, 3 of The Bridge, 2 of House of Cards, 6 Justified, 2 Hannibal, 1 Jessica Jones, and 2 Iron Fists.
The other one being episode 1 that we discussed last time. Lauren, we have an exciting new writer for this episode, right?
If by new you mean old, we have Scott Buck again. He, as we discussed last time, has 13 writing credits since 1991. And hitting the high points, there's 10 episodes of Coach, 7 episodes of 6 Feet Under, 2 episodes of Rome, 17 episodes of Dexter, 3 episodes of Iron Fist, and he's also credited as created by, and 1 episode of Inhumans, also created by.
No, I'm worried about Inhumans.
Yeah, he's an executive producer for Iron Fist, and Dexter, 6 Feet Under, a few other things. But yeah.
Haley, back in episode 185 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., Michelle, Lauren, and myself went over how much we're worried about Inhumans because Scott Buck is the producer of both, and the trailer just came out for Inhumans last week, which left us not satisfied. So, Haley, please let everybody know what your feelings are on Scott Buck and these two shows.
I mean, I'm going to have to base it basically on what I've seen so far of this show, of Iron Fist, which I was not thrilled with. It's there. Like, I would probably not ever have rewatched it if we weren't doing this podcast. I would have watched it, the one time when I watched all of it and never come back to it.
May I remind you that you are the one that made up the schedule that has drug us down this path of Iron Fist.
I'm going to have to watch it at least one more time because I'm starting a Marvel rewatch with my husband and my best friend.
Ooh.
You should tell him to hurry up and catch up, that you're doing your Iron Fist rewatch now and you can't do this again.
I will just have to invest in a lot of bourbon.
You can pretend they're like the lost Doctor Who episodes, the episodes that nobody has ever seen in 50 years. And
because
that
they were like, stolen by Zimbabwe or something? It was some weird story like that.
No. It's even dumber than that. The BBC didn't want to store them, so they just started taping over the old episodes.
It's exactly what happened.
The ones that I remember were they found them in like Mugabe's treasure trove or something.
Yeah, they find new episodes sometimes because they shipped the episodes out to like all these relay stations in other countries around the world. And so sometimes they will accidentally find like these old archived tapes that they used for the foreign broadcasts.
But my point is you can pretend that these episodes are the same as Doctor Who and that Netflix just, they lost the files.
I think what he's saying is we have to break into Netflix and tape over Iron Fist.
Okay, but only the parts that don't include Colleen and Claire.
Because Colleen, just all of like that Danny Rand crap will tape over. Anything to do with the Meachums. Like, we don't need that.
That seems fair to me.
All right. Yeah. So you gave me a good starting point for this episode. Colleen Wigg, she is got a few scenes in here, always awesome on screen. So, Lauren, what did you think about her performance here?
It's wing, by the way, like a bird wing.
Oh, I thought it was wig.
No, not Kristen Wiig. It's wing, like a bird.
Or a Frenchman.
Or that. So the first time we see her in this episode, she's walking along and then gets attacked and, kicks the crap out of her attackers who are her students. Is then like, I'm training you for the real world. You guys are terrible.
Wouldn't you like to be that teacher, right? You're teaching whatever it is, and you get to take your students out in the wild and kick their butts. That would be awesome.
That was the only good scene in this episode.
Very therapeutic. Yeah, right. It's funny how that was the only scene in this episode. It was just it would be so therapeutic to be able to do that.
I did like the scene where she's in her dojo with the sword when Ward walks in. I'm like, oh, Ward, you're going to get beheaded. No, she's going to come after you. Of course, it didn't happen. But the sword was cool.
Okay, we were talking about how awesome Colleen is and how the show should be about her.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except for when Claire comes in.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, it should be about the two of them. And then we should get the whole, like, Daughters of the Dragon thing going on with her and Claire and Misty. And really, that should be the show. And why didn't we do that?
You know what? Maybe they'll kill Danny Rand in, like, the first couple episodes of Defenders. And he can be like the Coulson driving that forward, like, oh, the team must avenge him. And then season 2 of Iron Fist is just all Colleen and Claire.
Yes.
So you mentioned the Meachums. I didn't have a gigantic issue with Joy in this episode. I think
I just don't care about them at all.
No, well, that's fair enough. But I do have a question about Joy in this episode, and I know you both have seen it, but as a new viewer, I don't know at this point whether she knows her dad is still alive or not. Matter of fact, I would say she doesn't. But she does say something to Ward, like, grow a pair like your dad. which indicates that she might still be in contact with him. I don't know. It's interesting to me at this point. Aside from that, yeah, I don't care. And what is that drug that Ward's taking? I mean, come on. Is that supposed to hulk him up?
You're just supposed to know that he's popping pills.
Yeah, he's a rich white dude who is addicted to pills.
Yeah, if this were a show made 20 years ago, you would have seen him snorting cocaine.
Yep. But because this is now, he's popping pills, which is a real problem. And if you or anyone you know is doing this, get help. But because it's a show, I roll my eyes at him and his man pain.
So another question. Dad says, get him out of there, take him to the house in the Hamptons or wherever. And he says, okay, yes, sir, I'll do it. But then he's got the crap beaten out of Danny in the elevator by other inmates of the asylum.
They're called patients.
Yeah. Okay. This is, again, my problem with people treating mental health facilities like they're torture chambers. Like, come on, guys.
Also,
this isn't Bedlam.
Before he's even seen a psychiatrist, they're just pumping him full of random drugs. Like, no diagnosis prior to this, no time with any doctor going into this, but they're going to give him fistfuls of drugs.
And by the way, just random me ranting, like I don't already do that. When Simon, the guy he's talking to who at first threatened to kill him, and then it turns out he's not really a doctor, when he's talking about the other patients and he's saying that guy used to live under a bridge, now he's in here and they won't let him out. Okay, so back in the 80s, a lot of mental health facilities the patients were just released onto the street because the Reagan administration deemed it more financially kind of better to just kind of let them run wild. Run wild isn't the right term, but just kind of let them go out, do their own thing, which is why the homeless population really spiked. A large percentage of the homeless population are mentally disabled, veterans, homeless, LGBT youth. And so one of the things that now, if you need mental health and you're homeless, you're either on your own or you're taken to prison. Like they don't have the money to put you in a mental facility. If you go into a mental health facility, it's because your family, you have money and can afford to be in one, or you have been deemed a risk to yourself or society and they can put you in there on a 72-hour hold. But for the most part, if you're having a mental health crisis, they take you to prison in a lot of cases. And this has become a really, really serious problem in the United States. There are a lot of very, very pertinent articles about it that I can send you if you'd like to know more about it. So just tweet me or something if you'd like to know more. This has been your, public service announcement for the day. And this is just another way that Iron Fist is making me angry.
Iron Fist, Danny Rand, decides to go into this psychiatric hospital and play by the rules, 72-hour hold, because he doesn't know any better. He was 10 years old when he left and go on into Kunlun, and he comes back about 15 years later, give or take, depending on the Earth's tilt, and he is now dealing with something that he really doesn't understand, so he's trying to tell the truth, for the most part. Finally tells the truth about the passport, including all the quote-unquote crazy stuff about Kunlun, the two monks, the Order of the Crane, and his special Iron Fist. Hey, dude, you expect to be let out after 72 hours about saying something about your Iron Fist?
Okay, but all of this is happening after all of the events we've seen in other Marvel movies and TV shows. Like, how does the practice of psychiatry deal with a world where aliens and superpowers are things that could plausibly be real? Like, he says he's got a magic fist. Maybe he does.
Yeah, we literally just saw New York get invaded by aliens a couple of years ago.
The psychiatrist even brings it up.
And wrecked Harlem.
The psychiatrist brings it up. Like, well, ever since the incident, people think they have superpowers. Maybe they have superpowers.
Like, I don't know. Try looking into this. I'm just saying.
Like, especially after you just verified his identity as having, that he is Danny Rand. Like, okay, maybe he also has superpowers.
Like, how else are you going to explain, oh, he was gone for 10 years. Okay, so yes, maybe he had amnesia. Maybe he was taken in by some sort of kidnapping ring. Maybe he is using this to cover up trauma. Those are all valid points, especially in today's world where we don't have aliens and superpowers and Hulk, But I'm just saying, in the world of the MCU, especially if we consider, double so if we consider MCU to include Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where the Inhumans exist. Like, come on, guy.
There's a lot of people with powers now.
Be a little bit more responsible here.
It's not always powers. You got Iron Man. It's all tech with Iron Man.
Yeah, then explain Thor.
No, there's no Thor and the hammer. There's no explanation for that. He's just a surfer dude that thinks he can fly. That's it. Yeah, I had a problem with that as well. It's like the incident. So this series, the way it's written by Scott Buck, by the way, since he wrote this episode and is the showrunner for the show, all of a sudden it's not really part of the MCU because you're not taking into account all that. But we don't know. Actually, we don't know exactly when this is. But
No, it is taking into account all of that. The Doctor specifically mentions the incident.
Right. We know it's sometime after the incident, but we don't know anything after that.
Just randomly, this is a thing that happens in the Marvel comics as well. There was a thing, I think it was like last year or the year before, where Iron Man basically got into a pissing contest with Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, ooh, magic, ooh. And it's like, dude, you've known Thor for like 50 years now. Come on. But every now and then they'll kind of forget that he knows all this. So it's just like, ugh, guys, stop being lazy writers. And this was definitely kind of a case of lazy writing. Like, Scott Buck, you wrote 2 of the best episodes of Rome Season 2. You're better than this. What happened?
Hopefully we'll learn at some time in the future what Scott Buck really was doing when he wrote this, or had somebody else write it for him. Harold Meacham is crazy, but we also see that he might be under the influence of the hand, because he goes out from the penthouse in the middle of the night, questions Danny, asks him about the song, Danny Boy, to torture him and to ascertain his identity, then goes back and sees the hand has left an imprint on the outside of the building.
So, Harold going out and doing this was one of the funnier parts of the episode for me, just because Jacob Marley from A Christmas Story, like, he's like, okay, everyone thinks I'm dead. I'm going to go be dead. I'm going to make this guy think I'm dead. And it's just, come on, guy. Like, I mean, I guess if you're locked up in a penthouse, you've got to pick up some hobbies, but...
Well, he has a hobby. He's torturing Kyle every day.
Poor Kyle.
Sorry.
What want ad did he answer to get that position?
Man, I don't want to know what kind of want ad he answered for that, because, I mean, I know you can find some weird stuff on Craigslist. Like, I look at Craigslist sometimes just to see what kind of weird stuff. But seriously, what kind of work for this dead guy in a penthouse and never leave and never tell anyone, and you're basically his
cabin boy.
Well, I'm trying to remember. It's there's Dracula and Renfield. You're his Renfield.
I see.
Just was the one to add "Be My Renfield"? Was that it? I want to know.
The kid probably didn't know who Renfield was. I don't know. It's an interview. I'll go to it. See if I get it.
Just like, does he like live there in the corner, change the computer? These are the things that I want to know.
Well, he walks into the other room at one point, and when he leaves,
Probably just gonna go to the bathroom.
I didn't hear. Well, he goes in to tell him.
He has a litter box.
I was thinking the same thing.
Cat lovers. All right, let's go back to the hand print on the outside of the building in the penthouse of this like 50-story tall building.
Yeah, Harold's like, because Harold's been getting info from the mental health place. Like, I guess the psychiatrist is passing it on to him.
No, he's monitoring it.
That's it. And
yeah, cameras in there.
Yeah, because he's creepy like that.
It's Big Brother, man. That's all it is. It's a whole season of Big Brother.
Ugh. But so he's like, oh, he can fight the hand. I need him. This is what I need. So yeah, nothing creepy going on there. Nothing underhanded going on there.
At this point, I imagine the hand ninjas are kind of like the owls in Futurama. They're like just on the outside of all the buildings and people are like, shoot, get away from here.
That would make for a better show.
Indeed. Well, we learned a little bit about Kunlun. It's one of the 7 capital cities of heaven. And there were 2 monks by the names of... I wrote it down here somewhere.
I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah, Chodak and Kashi.
Ah, that's right. Do we know anything? Is it important at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. So bye-bye Chodak and Tashi.
Yeah, so the 7 capital cities of heaven, in case you're interested, are all from Marvel Comics. It's Kunlun, Kunzi, which is a city of dark magic ruled by the Crane Mother. Tiger Island, protected by Tiger's beautiful daughter. Penglai, a peaceful island of pig farmers, protected by Cobra and Fat Cobra. Kingdom of Spiders, protected by the Bride of 9 Spiders. Zagambo, which is located in Africa, home to the Prince of Orphans. The Undercity, home to all who are truly lost, home to Dog Brother number 1. And 8th City, which is a brutal, hellish realm that could serve as a prison for the evils of the world. And if you want to learn more about these, find out or look up the Immortal Weapons comic series. It was a lot of fun.
Fun and Lauren. I don't know if it translates to everybody, Lauren. Just saying.
This one is actually fun, okay? Like, not my kind of... Well, it's my kind of fun, too, but not all of my fun is awful, all right?
You know what my kind of fun is? Separating the brown M&Ms from the colored ones. That's my kind of fun.
You're weird.
That's racist.
But yeah, somehow, this definitively proves that he's Danny Rand and not, a DNA test.
There's nothing to DNA test him against, though. They've already established that last episode. Although, his parents are not in a grave anywhere. They're lost in the mountain.
Oh, yeah, but there have to be other Rand relatives and descendants and stuff they can test against.
You mean like Joy and Ward Meacham?
Those aren't Rands.
They aren't Rands.
Oh. See, I thought that Harold said, he must have said his brother-in-law or something like that. Okay. Although Ward's phone ID for his dad was really interesting. You guys see what that was?
I missed it.
First name Frank, middle name N, last name Stein.
That's it.
That I remember.
Like Frankenstein. It took me a second too. I wrote it out. I'm like,
because
Frankenstein.
He's both not dead and a monster.
That's right.
Even though Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster.
And we know. Shut up.
So the elevator fight scene, is that, and it's a loading dock elevator, is that anywhere close to the Captain America elevator scene or the hallway fight scene for... Okay, so is this like the best fight scene of the entire series?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good, at least.
But just don't get your expectations too high for the fight scenes in this series.
This weekend, like I said, we're doing a Marvel rewatch. So we started with Daredevil season 1 and we got to that first hallway fight. It's so good. And it's so good. And then coming back to this, it's just like,
When I saw Mr. Daredevil himself in Indianapolis a few months ago, he did talk about that hallway scene where there is a known cut where he like goes into a room and then you see him walk out. When he walks out, that is the stunt man from then on.
Yeah, we were pointing that out this episode, this weekend when we were watching it. You could really clearly see where it was. But it's still an awesome fight scene.
Oh, it is.
So well done.
It's the
and why couldn't... Oh, God.
It's the sort of stuff that I wish Arrow would still do. I wish they would still do big choreography like that rather than the fast cuts. Like, of course, it's a stunt person that's doing this and the face that's obscured by hair and that sort of thing. That's why I kind of like these Netflix series. Is the fight choreography was miles ahead of usually what you got on TV. Season 1 and season 2 of Arrow were almost the same way. So I realize that one's on an 8-day schedule and the other one you can spend a month on a scene if you need to, but it was still pretty good in Arrow. And I miss that. I wish I would have that back. And thanks for telling me that to not get my hopes up, because, So the Iron Fist, it just glows when he gets mad and he punches things and they fly around?
Well, yes, it's supposed to be his chi, his spirit goes, it's supposed to be all through your body. That's the principle of chi. And he can kind of concentrate it all into his fist so that it's like this supernatural weapon it's like iron, and can use it to punch through things. And yeah, that's his power. There's more to it than that. Like there's this whole supernatural element to it. Again, the comics, way better. Ed Brubaker's Immortal Iron Fist is a really, really good run. And then the current Power Man and Iron Fist comics are also a lot of fun. Involves Luke Cage being a dad and trying to stop swearing because the kid has started swearing.
Is there a swear jar?
I don't think there's a swear jar, but
I know I picked up the first couple of issues. Yeah.
But it's a fun comic. And the really bro relationship between him and Danny is just great. And it always has been. If you go back to the original comics, it's just the playoff between them because they're both, 70s. It's the blaxploitation comic and the 70s white guy kung fu comic. And together they fight crime. That's literally it. But here, he's just kind of there.
Did anybody get a Matrix vibe when his passport was saying Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, John Anderson. Which I think in The Matrix it was Thomas Anderson, but
I don't think they ever said his first name.
In The Matrix, yes. It's Thomas.
Oh, okay.
We actually studied that extensively for one of my English classes in high school when we were discussing nihilism.
Pay attention, Haley. Jeez, what were you doing? Drinking bourbon or something during that watch? Have you seen
when The Matrix came out, I think I was like 10.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, child.
Another thing that I liked about this episode was Colleen Wing's statements to her students after she beat them up.
You move like a fat duck.
Swimming in gravy.
Yeah, you move like a pig swimming in gravy. I can't. I'm going to cry.
Say anything to you. Oh, she's the only good scene.
She's so good. I love her.
I like it when Ward sees her in Rand Industries Corporation, whatever, and she's at the elevator leaving, and he's like, oh man, what's going on here? I did like that. She played that very well. And then she brought the M&Ms back to Joy, and then when Joy was like, oh, it's Danny, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm not signing these, give them to your brother, I'm out of here. So
yeah, she's very practical. She's very no nonsense, and she has her own thing going on. Like every time Danny shows up so far, she's just like, seriously, I have my thing. I want nothing to do with you. But she just keeps getting dragged back into it.
I don't think $50,000 is enough to fix anything in New York. Especially not a dojo.
I don't know about that, but I do know that she has principles.
Yeah. Haley, anything else you want to make fun of this episode?
Probably.
Lauren, is there anything else?
once again, Finn Jones is a very charming guy in person, and all the interviews that I've seen of the guy that plays Dude Meacham, the son.
Ward,
thank you.
Tom Pelfrey is his name.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but it's just, this show really is doing so little for me.
Yep.
Well, we'll continue our watch because Haley has put it on the schedule. And
We're continuing because we hate ourselves.
I put it on the schedule. Marvel's the one that made this. It's their fault. Netflix,
Scott-
I'm looking at you.
Scott Buck is the one.
Yeah,
who made it.
Netflix, why did you cancel Sense8? And yet
I heard they're going to do like a 2-hour wrap-up thing.
they are, which makes me happy, but still.
I wish they would do a 2-hour wrap up of Alphas because then you guys could get your ending, as we discussed last time.
Yeah, but that's Sci-Fi and not Netflix. Direct your anger there at Sci-Fi.
It's really easy to do, except for they've come out since then with The Expanse, Dark Matter, and Killjoys, which are all great series.
So good. And Winona Earp, which I've caught up with finally, and it's amazing.
All right, well, next time, we're not going to talk about Legion. We're going to take a week off of Legion. Actually, I'm going to take the whole week off. But these ladies will be joined by Chris Farrell from the GonnaGeek.com network, and he's the leader of All Things Good and Nerdy, as well as my co-hosts on the GonnaGeek.com podcast and the Starling Tribune podcast. And they're going to come in this Sunday, 1 p.m. They're going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. Ladies, you revved up to see this movie?
Woo!
Yeah.
I actually might take some time off to go see it tomorrow before I leave. So we'll see about that. And then next Thursday, we will come back. The ladies will come back with whoever Haley wants to fill my seat. And they will discuss the third episode of Iron Fist, Rolling Thunder Cannon Punch. Who thinks of these names? I don't even know what Shadowhawk Takes Flight means. We didn't know what the frickin' last episode meant either, but
Again, I think they're supposed to be kung fu moves, but I can't find like anything about
well, didn't we hear
what they're supposed to be? Yeah, I looked up water yields in a bunch of different texts, and I didn't find it there either. I found a couple of like stories and like koans and stuff like that, but no actual move.
Okay. Well, if anybody can help us out there, please get a hold of us at the ways to get a hold of us on Twitter at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. You can catch me on email, Stargate Pioneer at GonnaGeek.com, or you can hit up the ladies on Facebook as well and let us know what these titles actually mean. I don't think we really care that much to research it at this point, but maybe sometime it will get to us. In the meantime,
I keep researching and it keeps never showing up.
There you go. In the meantime, if you like this sort of geeky content, talking about shows like Iron Fist and Legion and Spider-Man Homecoming, there's a whole swath of shows on the Gonna Geek network, and it's growing all the time. We're at 23 and possibly growing in the next couple of weeks or months here. One of the other shows on the network is All Things Good and Nerdy, helmed by Chris Farrell, who will be joining us next time for Spider-Man. And in the last episode of All Things Good and Nerdy, episode 267, titled Early Delivery. It's a strange week as the ATGN crew records during the week for once. Naki has the latest details on the long-rumored SNES Mini. Chris geeks out over Peter Parker's new MCU debut. Willie has the latest on this month's free Sony games on his PS4. And to wrap things up, Anthony shares the latest on Deadpool 2. Once again, that's ATGN episode 267, early delivery, and you can find that at GonnaGeek.com. In the meantime, we're going to transition into the news.
Okay, I have to start with some breaking news. A friend of mine just came out of Spider-Man Homecoming and says that might be my favorite comic book movie ever.
Okay.
So we have that to look forward to this weekend. But On to the real news, some sad news. Stan Lee's wife, Joan Lee, has died at the age of 93. They were married for 69 years.
I thought it was 73 years.
The article I'm looking at says 69.
Wow. Still almost 70.
Well, they were married for a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from being Stan Lee's wife, he's variously credited her as the reason that he created Fantastic Four, because he was really disappointed with the state that comics were in at the time. And he says that she said, well, before you quit, do what you want to do. So he wrote Fantastic Four. She's also done various voice work in comics. In the Iron Man TV series from 94, she did computer voice. In Fantastic Four in 94, she was Miss Forbes. What she's probably best known as, especially to me, is in the Spider-Man series in 96, she was Madam Web, who was sort of designed to look like her, if I remember right. And most recently in X-Men Apocalypse, there's a scene where Stan Lee is holding this woman, and it's her. And you can see it on her IMDb page. And yeah, they were married for a really long time. She was in, there's a Stan Lee documentary that came out a few years ago, and she's in that talking about him. The story of how they met is just incredibly sweet. And just, yeah, this is really, really sad. Just thinking about it, I got really emotional earlier today. I mean, she was 93, and that's a really good life. But it's still, I mean, they've been married like 70 years. It's a long time to be with someone. That's more than a lot of people live, period.
That's what I was thinking. And a lot of people don't get 70 years. So, Joan Lee, lots of respect there. And our sympathies go out to Stan Lee, as with tens or hundreds of thousands of other people, perhaps millions of other people. So it's definitely a hard time to go through, losing your spouse. And if you've been with them for that long, it's definitely emotional. So we will keep our eyes on what's going on here, and we will relay any news about what's happened with the Lees in the future.
Just kind of tying that off, she had suffered a stroke earlier this week. So. But some happier news, Patton Oswalt is now engaged.
Our own Agent Koenig. He lost his wife about, I guess, 15 months ago is what I was remembering. She was a true crime writer, Michelle McNamara, and she left behind him and their young daughter, Alice. And just recently, like, I guess within the past month, I saw on Twitter that he and a voice actress that I really like, Meredith Salinger, who is best known to me for voicing Barriss Offee on Clone Wars, had started dating. And I guess they made that public because of this. Today, they got engaged. And it's really cute. They've been tweeting about it all day. And of course, Clark Gregg earlier tweeted, "This makes me so happy," to which Patton Oswalt replied, "Thanks, boss." So it's just very adorable, and it's always good when there's happy news. So good job.
He's a Harvard graduate. That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations from us at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Indeed.
I am happy that you are happy. People deserve to be happy.
Yes. So next up, we've got some casting news about Luke Cage. They have cast 2 villains for season 2 of the show. Mustafa Shakir will be playing John McIver. I don't know who that is.
Also known as Bushmaster.
Ah, there you go. And Gabrielle Dennis is playing Tilda Johnson,
who is also known as Nightshade.
Ah.
So this will be interesting, and I'm interested in seeing how exactly they get brought into the plot.
Yeah, it's hard to speculate right now because we don't know how Defenders is going to end. So we'll have to
we don't know how Defenders is going to end. Considering how things left off at the end of Luke Cage, I mean, we're not sure. And considering how slightly different Netflix versions of the characters were for Cottonmouth and Diamondback and Mariah. It'll be interesting to see how Chio Hodari Coker adapts these characters to screen. So I'm just anticipating, because seriously, Luke Cage, I don't remember if I said, but I think it might be my favorite of the Netflix series.
I think you did. We went through it. I think, Haley, you said it was Jessica Jones, right?
Yes.
And I said it was Daredevil season 1. So still looking forward to the next one. Yeah.
And just if they can keep at least competitive with what they did in season 1, it'll be fantastic.
Except for I hope for a better ending. The ending was a little weak for Luke Cage. It's like, go see The Defenders. Yes, I'll do that as soon as it's out. Yeah. Which we'll be close to seeing it when it's out here as well. So, Haley, just to lead into the next one, you had your text from your friend saying it was the best comic movie ever. What do other people think?
It is, according to Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. It is at 93% right now on their tomato meter. So apparently it's good. We should all go see it.
Yes, we should. Let's go see it right now.
Yeah. I'm debating, although it's kind of late, but I'm debating going and seeing it right after this. Either that or tomorrow. Otherwise, I won't see it for a week, it'll kill me.
Yeah, my husband has work in the morning. Otherwise, I'd be like, let's go see it now. But we might do so, I guess, Saturday morning, tomorrow after, I don't know. Whenever we go see it, it'll be fun.
All right, check out the next podcast so you can hear us talk about it, or at least the ladies.
All right, and last up, we've got some news about the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. wants to retire before it gets embarrassing.
That's understandable.
What does that mean, though? Embarrassing, like how? Like, is he going to start doing drugs again? Or, like, embarrassing, like
I don't think it's that. I think it means before he's really noticeably aged up. He's 52 years old right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, the Iron Man from the comics is supposed to be in his 30s to 40s.
Yeah, so I wonder how they're going to deal with that, and I hope they don't, like, kill him off, but you never know what's going to happen.
He can retire without being killed off. He can just go take his piles of money and live on his own island somewhere with Pepper.
Yeah, if they wanted to do sort of a next-gen heroes thing, he could pass off his, the Iron Man suit to Riri Williams.
That would be cool. I would be all
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic Four, fantastic?
Better.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, that's all the news we have for this week. Thank you, ladies, for putting that together for us. And we will now move on into the feedback.
At Adana Girl tweeted us and asked, so does this mean she's lanyard worthy? This was, of course, in reference to Meredith Salinger's announcement of her engagement to Patton Oswalt. So, yeah, I'd say she's lanyard worthy.
I would agree with that. Haley, do you think she's lanyard worthy?
I don't know. Is she authorized?
I would say so. Not only is she dating Koenig, but she's also in Star Wars, The Clone Wars. So, I mean, she's already double cool.
Right. We'll let her in.
Yeah. At Born to Eat Bacon said, okay, well, this was a comment thread. I only linked the one that started it from him, but it started off with at top AOS fan replying to Original Funko. When are we going to have more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pops? My Coulson pop needs his team. To which at Born to Eat Bacon replied, yes, my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. collection needs Mac with hashtag shotgun axe plus Bobby and Hunter and Yo-Yo. And he included a picture of his Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. team, which is cool. And then at Top AOS Fan said, I want Fitzsimmons. The team needs science nerds if we are to protect the world. To which at Born to Eat Bacon said, OMG, yes, the science babies turn super spies. How did I miss them? I am in favor of all of this, by the way.
Make them, Pop Funko. You'll make millions. Lauren will buy all of them.
I will indeed.
All of them.
Yes. Thank you at Born to Eat Bacon for representing us Pop Funko fans and the Science Babies and Shotgun X.
So, Haley, if there is one Pop Funko figure that is not available that you would want, what would it be?
Rogue. I've said that before.
Yes.
I want a Rogue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe she's still not out.
Nope.
Come on, guys. Get on that. I want Pop Funkos of like Pacific Rim. It'd be so cute.
When does the second one come out?
Next year. I am counting down right now the months, but I can't wait. We have a like collection of Pacific Rim like figurines and stuff in my apartment. We are big Pacific Rim fans here.
Good to know.
Yes. And finally, from at Kodiak GWC, I've never done this before, but was a complete fanboy when I saw Jamie Alexander and needed to get a pic. Did you all see this picture?
Yes.
He just happened to run into Jamie Alexander in the grocery store. Really?
Yeah, it was so funny. So this weekend, my friend from the DFW area was at our place, and we just happened to be talking about how there is like one Central Market in the DFW area. So it was at this one Central Market that Kodiak GWC was at, I guess that very day we were talking about it, when he ran into Jamie Alexander just shopping. And I guess she said that she was there visiting her family in Grapevine, which, by the way, has a fantastic mall. But just, wow, just running into Jamie Alexander just out there in the wild, and she looks fantastic. And Kodiak looks starstruck, and this is so cool.
Well, great.
I would not be as together as he is.
No.
Well, great on her for posing for that picture, first of all, because you're just out there with family and whatever, and you just go to a grocery store to pick up a few things, right? And all of a sudden,
Yeah,
a
like
fan,
you're just there in like the beer aisle.
and a fan recognizes you. Hey, can I have a picture with you? Oh, yeah, sure. You know, something that you'd have to normally pay, $20 or something like that at a con. She did. That was awesome. She played Sif, of course, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and she's got that whole series called Blind Spot right now. Over on NBC. So, Jamie, we're all about the Alexander.
So that was amazing.
Yep.
We have a voicemail, ladies. Do you want to hear this voicemail?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. It's not from Jamie Alexander, unfortunately, but it is from a former guest host of the show and probably future guest host, Michelle.
Yay!
Hey team, it's consultant Michelle filing a report on Iron Fist episode 2. I like how Colleen saw through Ward, and the way she stood up to him, well, she's quickly become my favorite character. Danny continues to be a bit of an idiot. Why would he think tossing a computer is okay? And he ruins his chance to be released by telling a doctor about living in another dimension with a door that opens every 15 years. I'm glad Joy and the others have accepted that this is Danny. It seems Harold needs Danny because Danny claims to be the only one who can defeat the Hand, which ties the show to Daredevil. Then we finally see the Iron Fist in action, which makes this episode a better first episode than the actual first episode. Report terminated.
Terminated the report. Wow, Michelle getting nasty. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Michelle, for that report. I think your assessment of Colleen is shared by all. Favorite character. Indeed. We didn't talk about the monitor toss before. Yeah, that was kind of passive aggressive.
It was just another dumb Danny thing. Everything
Danny's
Danny
an
does
idiot.
is dumb.
He's got impulse control issues.
Which you'd think he would take control over because he's lived the past 15 years in a monastery. It's all about discipline.
Dude's got no chill.
Guys.
Well, like I said, thank you very much. And if you have other comments, you can email them to me at stargatepioneer@gonnageek.com, or you can also check out our voicemail line at 844-THE-BUS-1. That's 844-843-2871. Ladies, are you ready to swim like a duck through gravy?
I guess.
Sounds messy.
It really does.
Let's swim this one out. Thank you for downloading this podcast. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for all your great feedback. We really appreciate that. But most importantly, let us know how you're liking this 2 episodes a week format that we're doing while we're catching up.
Thank you so much for everybody who gets a hold of us on Twitter, who sends us stuff, who shares their pictures with celebrities with us, who sends us their voicemails. We really love hearing from you. We love knowing what you have to think about the Marvel Universe in general, Iron Fist in specific, or Legion when we get back to that. We'd love to hear what you think about Spider-Man Homecoming when you get around to seeing it. So thank you for that, and continue to send us your feedback. We love it, and we love you.
Thank you to everybody that's listening. We'll be talking about Iron Fist for the majority of the summer, and we will probably be crapping on it a lot, at least Lauren and I will. So either send us your feedback, commiserating with us, or if you like the show, tell us what you liked about it. Let us know. Correct us if you think we're wrong. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it.
We would indeed. And one final note, again, our sincere condolences to the Lee family. Until next time, I'm Director, Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
See y'all in a week. Bye! I'm out of here.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to gonnageek.com and you will find all our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod, found at incompetech.com, and also artists on pond5.com and audiojungle.net. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and do not represent Stargate Pioneer Productions, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation, Marvel Studios, and ABC. No infringement is intended. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is copyright 2017.